Hello everybody, another super simple tie from me today. It is a buzzer or chironomid pattern and it's called the Buckshot Buzzer. I saw in one of the fly tying magazines in the UK a good number of years ago now a buckshot nymph, and I had some success with that and have since adapted it into a buzzer pattern, and it works really well for me. So let me show you how I tie it. In the vise, I have a Togens Scud 3X Heavy in size 12, and then it gets pretty simple. The main body of the fly is Glowbite Frost number 9. The rib of the fly is Pearl Crystal Flash, and the cheeks of the fly, I'm using Vivus I22. Some sort of white or pearl, white or pearl micro glint will work as well. So that's all you need. So let's get on and tie the fly. First thing we do, obviously, catch the floss. I might say floss, I might say thread. Either way, catch it on, snip off your tag end, and take it in touching turns down to at least midway through the bend. There we go. And then we're going back up to the top, at which point we catch in our rib. And I like having a lot of material sticking out the front. It just makes it easier to tie and manoeuvre and keep control of. But what you want to do is you want to pull the micro glint tight, and that way the kinks unwind and you can tie it down the body. And then when you've reached the end, just unspin your bobbin a bit, because floss has a tendency to wind up, as all threads do, but it lays nice and flat when you unwind it. And then come back up the body again in touching turns. Stick the crystal flash into the materials clip, snip off the bit sticking over the front, and then we're going to tie off the floss. We are done with the floss. You can build a bit of a taper into the body if you want to. It hasn't affected my catch rate with this fly either way, so I tend not to taper the body, but if you like a slight taper on your buzzers or chironomids, then absolutely feel free to do that. And what we're going to do now is just switch over to some black thread, and this is for the thorax, but if we tie it on now, it means we can secure the rib down with the black thread as well, assuming I can get it threaded. So once you're all sorted with your black thread, tie that on behind the eye, and then come up and snip off your excess, and then come down to where you want that thorax to start. Usually 2/3 body, 1/3 thorax. And what we're going to do now is we're going to pull that crystal flash tight again, and we're going to rib the fly in nice open turns. It is a bit slippery, so just that first wrap, be a bit careful. But once you get going, should be fine. Nice, even spaced wraps. Here we go. And then when you reach your thorax, you can tie that off. Just make sure you secure it down. Snip off your excess and keep it to one side for the next one. What we're going to do now is just build up that thorax slightly. Tidy up the eye. There you go. And this is where we tie in the micro glint, and we want that in on both sides, and I want it in pointing backwards. It gives gives me more manoeuvrability. So again, we're going to have material poking over the front. But then you want to make sure that the material itself is pointing down the side of the fly. So I'll just keep tension on that. Make sure it's in the right place. Excuse me a moment. And you want it below the halfway line of the side of the fly, because buzzer cheeks always go from bottom to top. They're not straight, so if you're looking for a slightly more anatomically correct cheek, the buzzer cheeks go from bottom to top. And you trim off what's at the front, and then just build up the thorax as you like it. Just when you reach the end of the thorax, bear in mind thread wraps have a tendency to push your materials about, so you just want to make sure that you're comfortable. There we go. When we get to the end, quick whip finish, just so the thread stays where it is. Save your work, make sure it doesn't slip off, whatever you want to call it. And really now, I'm just going to adjust that in the vise slightly. Oopsie. There we go. It's a question of pulling those cheeks forwards. So you can see it's going from slightly bottom to top. Make sure you're happy with them and they're the same both sides. A couple of wraps in front just to secure. And then it's a question of snipping off these bits as close as you dare. There we go. And then covering up your butt ends, whip finish. You only need 2 or 3 turns for the whip finish because we are going to douse this in varnish, which I'll do off camera. But that's it, that's your Buckshot Buzzer. As I say, it's a derivative of the Buckshot Nymph. I can't remember who tied it, unfortunately, so I'm sorry, I can't give them credit. But I then adapted it into a buzzer pattern, which has worked really well, particularly on brighter days when the sun catches that crystal flash rib and the glinty cheeks. It's a big trigger point for the trout. But a coat of resin, or I like 3 coats of varnish on this, and you can fish it as deep as you like. It is productive. Give it a tie. Let me know how you get on. You can find me via Togens, or you can find me on Instagram. Speak to you soon. Thanks.